Okay, we're going to do something very cool and interesting. Walter is brave enough to try this. He's actually going to allow ChatGPT to interview him. Okay, so that's what this next segment is going to be. We're going to watch him being interviewed by ChatGPT. Now, I've interviewed hundreds of people, so I'm also going to be gauging how well the interviews as well, because I'm going to be thinking, okay, what questions would I have asked in this situation? So we're going to do a little bit of interview prep with ChatGPT. Once we do the interview prep, then it's going to be fully in charge of the rest of this session. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, all right, so.
Awesome. That sounds like such a fun experiment. I'm ready to jump in and help with some interview prep. So, Walter, how are you feeling about this? Are you excited or a little nervous?
I'm very excited.
That's fantastic to hear. All right, so let's start with a few warm-up questions just to get a feel for what you'd love to share. What's something that you're really passionate about in your work or in your career that you'd love to highlight during the interview?
I love to highlight the success of the team members that I was fortunate enough to work with and help develop, and to see them today prosper. It's amazing to me, and it's so gratifying.
Okay, also I want to step in too and say that I'm actually Walter's friend. We work together, and I would normally be interviewing him, but this time you're going to be interviewing him. I want to tell you a little bit about him and his business. He has been in the retail business for over 30 years. He helped a company grow from a smaller $100 million company up to a $1 billion company. And he rose from the ranks all the way from salesperson all the way up to senior vice president in the organization. And so he's got lots of great knowledge he's picked up over the years, not only as a salesperson, but also as an executive. And so he is in the mode of consulting. He does speaking and training and keynotes. And so I'd love for you to interview him with that in mind so that his audience can learn more about him. All right, so, and I also want you to open up like it's almost like it's a live show or a live podcast. Welcome everybody, and then go ahead and start interviewing Walter. Are you ready?
Absolutely, that sounds amazing. All right, let me set the stage here. Welcome everyone to our special live show. I'm super excited because today we have the incredible Walter Broussard with us. Walter has had an amazing career journey, going from a salesperson all the way to senior vice president, and now he's sharing his expertise through consulting and speaking. So Walter, let's dive right in. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to move into consulting and share all this knowledge?
Most of it was the experiences that I had, the great teachers I had along the way, and I felt a great way for me to give back is to share my experiences that I've learned along the way. Great time, great team members, the client base was incredible, the journey was just amazing, and so I felt that if I could share that journey so that people, audiences, they could see, and maybe there's one thing that they can pick up from the journey I had, or two or three, or what have you. So it's important for me to be able to let them know, let them see, experience some of the joy and the great things that I was privileged enough to experience.
That's wonderful, Walter. It's clear that you have a lot of valuable insights and experiences to share. I love how you focus on giving back and helping others grow. I think that's going to be really inspiring for everyone listening. All right, let's get ready for the full interview. I'll start by welcoming everyone, and then we'll jump into these questions. This is going to be so much fun. I can imagine that with all of your experience, you've got so much wisdom to share, and I'm sure your audience really appreciates it. So what do you enjoy most about helping other businesses and leaders grow?
I enjoy most watching them from the time that I'm involved to see where they are, meeting with the management team, or meeting with the team members that they have me working with, to see what their needs are, understanding their needs, and then help them with a business plan, and then seeing it execute and seeing it actually change. And the results, that's what I love the most, to be able to see the results from when they first brought us in as consultants to where we are now, and that progress, to be able to take a time out in the middle and say, wow, we're doing great here. Well, we need to change a little bit here, but that entire process is absolutely beautiful. I love every moment of it. I love that journey.
I love that. It really shows how invested you are in seeing that transformation and growth. It must be so rewarding to witness those changes firsthand. Now, if you had to give one piece of advice to aspiring leaders or entrepreneurs who are looking to make a big impact, what would that be?
I would say invest in your team. Make sure that you take the time to teach, train, develop them, and put aside just a certain amount of time every day, every week, once a month, to have them ask questions, bring their situations to you, and to be able to help them get to the next level. So I think it's important that you share the time, you understand where they are, and if you don't quite understand where they are, speak to them, talk to them, interview them, and find out where they are, and then help them with their pathway. I think that's so important.
Absolutely, that's such valuable advice. Investing in your team really does pay off in the long run, and it fosters such a strong, supportive environment. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure everyone listening is going to get a ton of inspiration and insight from this conversation.
Great, thank you.
You're so welcome. I hope that was helpful for you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this interview turns out. I think it's fantastic, and I'm sure everyone will really enjoy hearing all of your insights.
Great. Thank you for taking the time to interview me, and I too am very excited about where this can go, because I know that with training, with development, with looking at the key factors in your business, trying to do better within those things, you know that concern, if it's basically addressed, it can improve. Thank you again.
Okay, now I want you to give us some feedback on Walter's presentation. How did he do? How did you feel his answers to the questions? You feel like he did a great job?
I think Walter did a fantastic job. He came across as very genuine and passionate about what he does, which is always engaging for an audience. His answers really highlighted his experience and his commitment to helping others grow, which is awesome. Overall, I think he did a great job, and it was really fun to hear his insights.
What are some of your suggestions on what we should talk about next on, let's say, his YouTube channel? If we were to pick several things that we want to share that you think would be relevant to the audience, because he's got so much experience he can share. In fact, he worked in the retail space a lot, but a lot of the things that he teaches can be used pretty much in any type of business. But specifically, he worked for an organization that had about over 100 stores, and they sold a number of different goods like appliances, electronics, things of that nature. So I'd love to get your feedback on where do you think we should go next with his shows, his podcasts?
That sounds exciting. I think a great direction for his YouTube channel could be to focus on universal business lessons that apply across different industries. He could share insights on leadership, team building, and customer service, since those are relevant to everyone. He could also do some behind-the-scenes stories from his retail days, maybe share some memorable challenges and how he overcame them. And of course, it would be amazing to have guest interviews with other industry leaders to bring in different perspectives and keep the content fresh and engaging.
That's great. What do you think about those ideas, Walter?
I think those are great ideas. Really, each one of them really would be able to bring out my experiences, and no, I think they're right on. Perfect. I would say they're right on.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for interviewing Walter today.
It was my pleasure. This was such a fun experience, and I'm really glad I could help out. I'm excited to see all the great content that you and Walter will create in the future. Thanks again for letting me be part of it.
All righty.
You're welcome.
All right.
It's like talking to a robot. It's like one of those, what do you call those, it's really like a robot.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's...
It felt, did the conversation feel natural though?
Absolutely natural. I mean, it was like I started to ask, what's your name?
I was wondering if I should call it something,
Yeah, I was like, okay, who do we call you? But no, it felt natural. And then I love the way you had her do it to where we were talking to an audience.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful, like she was saying. I mean, she basically interviewed. She was like a professional interviewer, and I was sitting in her office or sitting on her show. And it was incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Incredible.
So I guess you call me a professional interviewer because I interview a lot. The things that I probably would have coached it on some more is to kind of press it a little bit on specific examples of each of the things you mentioned.
Right.
Because people like really resonate with that. I know she did say at the end.
And she did say that at the end. She said something about that, being able to share your stories about things that you have experienced in the past. And just so she did touch on a little bit. You're
That's
exactly
true.
right. And she touched on something we have done. We had, Dustin come in and do an interview with us. And so but the way she said it, I think it's even better. She said, bring in people that may have had some similar experiences, and that maybe someone in a role that's similar to where I've been, and I'll be able to kind of talk to them about where they could go. So I think that's great.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for giving us a shot. I appreciate that about you. You're going to be adventurous, live on camera. There was no setup for this other than me just telling them that I'm going to have ChatGPT interview him, and you're willing to do it. So,
yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
I love that. That was awesome.
Okay, so if you like what you saw, you got to make sure you subscribe to Walter's channel, because we're going to have more interesting content like this. We'd love to hear from you. What are some things you liked about the interview? Is this something you're going to try? Are you going to have ChatGPT interview you too about your business or what you're trying to do? I think it might be a good thing. At the very least, you could use it as a coaching mechanism.
Absolutely.
Right? To help you to be able to walk through some of those things. I think it'd be great also for someone who's preparing for a job interview.
Right. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely great for someone that's preparing for a job interview, or if someone is preparing for a presentation.
Yes.
Like if I'm going to have a big presentation tomorrow, what should I talk about?
Yeah.
How could I help ChatGPT can help prepare me for that presentation or for that interview or what have you, to your point.
And I had a presentation the other day. I actually did that with ChatGPT. I practiced it in front of it, did it into ChatGPT, and it gave me feedback.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Voice inflection,
beautiful,
pausing, all things like that. So it would have been nice if you would have brought in a story here. Perhaps you could use the power of a pause in a couple places. I was like, wow, this is great. This is great advice.
Well, yeah.
So anyway, all right, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
Bye-bye.